Good afternoon, morning for me. I was up a little late last night. I've been coming off my meds, and it seems like when I come down off my meds, I have more energy. And I was up a little bit later last night. I slept way too late, but it is what it is. So people say, "Well, you must have needed to sleep, huh?" Well, I need sleep, but it gets interfered with nightmares, so I don't get sleep, and then I have to sleep. Conundrums. I will wake up hungover, so there's that. Mo, somebody wants the window open. I'm gonna open the window. We'll get started. Fun stuff. Yeah. There you go. There you go, buddy. All right. So, passive bullying. Let's do some introductions. Welcome to Daily Trudge. My name is Dion. If you're here, please say hello, whether you are watching the live or the rewatch. So we're gonna have to be some honest with some things here. Yeah, we have to be honest with some things. I need to blow my nose real quick. Thank you for letting me do that. All right, that's better. Um, yeah. So passive bullying, it happens a lot more than we know. And like I said, we're going to need to be honest with ourselves. I do this too. Yeah, I do the best that I can. Um, Hi, Patricia. It's good to see you. Good evening to you. Um, but it's I know that we want to laugh, but if we need to laugh at somebody else's expense, it's hard for me. Even sometimes even if they're silly, and I try and get on board with this, but when somebody's being serious and they're sharing their story, I just don't think it's funny. Even if it's funny, I don't find it funny. Maybe the person is funny looking and stuff, maybe, but my mind automatically looks past all of that. In fact, the weirder you are, the more likely I am to listen to you because I know that I'm going to get a level of honesty that other people are not going to give me. So it's the way it is. So how is it that we do this? Maybe somebody disrupted us in a meeting and we need to talk about it. All right. So it's going to be tough because we're going to want to point a finger. Well, they did this and that's how I reacted. Okay. That's usually the situation. Okay. Um, or somebody a few weeks ago, they decided to crosstalk on something and they were not nice about it. And they were also my sponsee. And I flipped them off. And I still mean it to this day. I have not changed how I deal with them. No. No. We have two opinions. We're allowed to disagree. Um, I did have to let him go, but it wasn't on his side. It wasn't because of him. Nope. It was on me. And I had to be honest about that. He needs somebody with more patience than me. He does. It's the way it is, you know. He chaired the other day, and I backed him like I would back anybody else. It's about the meeting. You got to do what's right. If I take things personally like that in the program, I'm not going to have many friends. Okay, but I need to know where I stand with things. All right. It usually goes along the lines of, I don't want to talk about them, but the word "but" is going to be used. Yeah. Using the word "but" makes an ass out of you. It's kind of like "but" is just a different way to assume. Okay. The more fancy word for "but" is "yet." That is the new word. People are using "yet" instead of "but." When you say "but," you have canceled out everything you have previously said. That's the rule. That's the rule. I really like that person, but have you seen how? Ooh, see, it's so hard to not talk shit. Even when we're trying to explain and do it the right way, it's hard, isn't it? It's hard. Because we really only should be looking at our side. Okay. The way I see it is when somebody puts themselves out there, no matter how weird, no matter how odd, no matter how silly, they get a certain degree of respect. And if you laugh at them, what happens is then I have less respect for you. It's what happens. I don't like it when people are made fun of. Okay. Now I'm not saying I don't do this, or I wouldn't be on here talking about it. Okay. What do we also call this? We call it polite character assassination. We're talking shit, but we ain't yelling. Okay. How else is it done? Comparisons. Yeah, comparison. Comparing, not comparison. That's not a word. You can try comparison, but I don't know how you're going to do that because I don't know what it is. So, comparing. Not when we compare ourselves. No. No. That has to do with self-esteem. When we compare AA to Celebrate Recovery, that's passive bullying. Well, AA didn't work for me because that's passive bullying. Okay. It works. We know that. Right? Is it going to work for everybody? It works for everybody that wants to try that route, but maybe that route isn't for you. And that, my friends, is okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Mm-mm. You might need a different route. You bet. Man, things are picking up quickly. Now suddenly there's a bunch of events that we're being invited to. I've asked to be a brand ambassador for Sobriety House, which I'm going to take. I usually do not, but this was intentional. I love Sobriety House. My recovery is tied to Sobriety House more than they know. I'm an alumni. I'm one of the original alumni. Let me put it a different way. I'm the only one alive. Okay. I'm the only one left alive. See, when I went through the Phoenix concept, I was 18. First person closest to my age was 34. Okay. So big difference. I'm going to close this window because somebody's baby is crying. So, yeah. Neighbors have a little daughter. My grandkids are coming over tonight. I get to babysit. See, things have improved. Where my daughter wouldn't talk to me 6 months ago, I'm babysitting tonight. She's like, Dad, I need to go to school. I need a babysitter. I don't do shit on Friday nights. So good with me. Go with me. How else do I do passive bullying? Because I'm not going to sit here and point fingers at other people doing passive bullying. You know what that would be? Passive bullying. So you got to be very careful when you come on here talking about certain things, right? The first thing you have to do is admit the fact that you probably do it too. See, I don't learn this stuff through necessarily books, but I do. But I learned them from my experience because I've done it. Because I wasn't the best person in the world for a good chunk of my life. Okay, okay. I don't mind that people know that. So what? What are they going to do? Not like me? I'm okay with that. Okay. In order for me to love you, I don't need a requirement anymore. It's nice that I can love you without needing a requirement. And these requirements were always me. Yeah. Well, I need to see you do this. Nah, I don't need to do that anymore. No. I'm still watching your actions because I have this thing called boundaries and I like to do the right thing and things like that, but I'm not going to tell you what to do. Okay. If you're my friend and off the beam, I'm going to say something to you. But if I get an answer like, blah, 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 I'm done. I'm not going to argue with you. Okay. I won't argue with you. This tends to drive people off, but it just tells me you were going to leave sooner or later. There was some kind of expectation. Okay. That's kind of the thing with me. If you have expectations with me, I'm going to fail. I won't do it intentionally. Okay. But you tend to predict what you want. You tend to predict it. So, but that's off topic. So, whenever we decide to use somebody else to make ourselves feel better, or this was my main thing that I would use it for was mostly manipulation. Well, I know I'm doing wrong, but did you see what they're doing? Passive bullying. I did it all the time. Take the spotlight off me, put it somewhere else, right? Now, in my family, that was different. I was the black sheep, so it was always put on me. Okay. There were times I took the rap from my older brother Scott because there's no way he could have handled the consequences. He doesn't know this. He doesn't need to know. Okay. He just, sometimes I've taken the rap for people because I know what the system will do for them, will do to them. I'll give an example. I had to do with somebody else's child support. Okay. I knew that they weren't going to be able to make this payment. Okay. But if we reported that they weren't paying, then what they would have done to his life would have been horrible. And he was already dealing with schizophrenia. No. It was only like $104 a month or something like that. So we just said he paid it. Mm-mm. Okay. There are things that you can do in this life for other people, and they don't need to know. That is the opposite of bullying. It's the opposite, man. I give a fuck what happens to this dude. It's part of the family. Okay, period. Okay? I mean, we're kind of a weird family. Trying to think of some other things there, but I see that a couple people have kind of joined. So I'm going to kind of reiterate what I was talking about in the beginning. Anytime we use the word but when we're talking about somebody, I still use the word but, see, it cancels out everything. It is hard. If you could take a look at, if you can at least take a look at it and be willing to say, okay, what am I saying when I say that word? You're going to find that you speak differently. You'll try and avoid that word. And what happened to me was I became more honest because I was being honest with myself. Well, Dion, why do I need to put this up? Okay. Now, sometimes I will post something because it creates a good laugh and I want you to enjoy it with me. That is purely selfish. And I know it, and it's okay. Because I'm creating joy. Okay. But I cannot create joy at the expense of others. Period. There we go. All right. Now I got it. We're in step 9. That's what we're talking about. We just went over this stuff last night. It was phenomenal. I got so much. You know, I've been in this program for 35 years, probably 36 now. I don't know. Okay. And I'm consistently learning more. All the time. All the time. All right. Okay. I'm going to start at the bottom of page 85 here. And this is after we've made a couple. I'm going to go up one. After taking this preliminary trial at making amends, we may enjoy such a sense of relief that we conclude our task is finished. Now, we can fall into this trap on a lot of things. Okay, you're not supposed to be on there. You know that. Okay. We will want to rest on our laurels. There's a lot of things in the program where it feels like a completion, but it's the beginning. It's actually the beginning of something. Okay. I remember making my first original amends and the freedom that came with it. Okay. That is because I was providing justice. And here we are at the opposite of passive bullying. So instead, what we're going to do is we're going to clean our side of the street constantly. Every day, I have to go out to my street, and because during the night the wind blew, there's trash, but since I maintain it, it only takes me a few minutes. Since I maintain it, it only takes me a few minutes in the morning to do. What is that? It's my prayer. It's my connection to my higher power. Okay, so the first thing I'm doing is cleaning up my side of the street. How am I doing that? Because I haven't done anything yet. God, I do the third step. It's the third step prayer. God, remove from me anything standing in the way between you and me, so that I can be a better person today than I was yesterday. There we are. Okay. Laurels goes with success. Okay. And laurels means that we're taking success today for yesterday's actions. No. This is why we live a day at a time. Yesterday is over with. What have you done today? that's made the world a better place. You don't have to do much. Smile at somebody. This is what I do. I do good things throughout the day. Then I have these extra dividends these are gifts that I get to give away all day in the form of love, appreciation, encouragement, joy. I'm available. These are the satisfactions of life. For me, it's working for me. It might not be enough for some other people. You know, I did not have much hard time with the material things. I've always been broke. So the temptation to skip the more humiliating and dreaded meetings that still remain may be great. We'll often manufacture plausible excuse for dodging these issues entirely, or we may just procrastinate, telling ourselves the time is not right yet. I did that. That's what I've been doing. I'm not going to say I did it because there's still some amends that I need to make. Okay. Got it. All right. When in reality, we have passed up many a fine chance to right a serious wrong. Let's not talk prudence while practicing evasion. I love that one. Let's not talk prudence while practicing evasion. You know. So in other words, get those done. I gotta do mine. That's kind of where I'm at right now. Okay. I'm doing one today by letter. So, yep. As soon as in fact, I should do that. God, there's no way I'm going to be able to get to an in-person 5:30. Okay. That's all right. I've gotten out every day this week, and I think my body is like, okay, yeah, because I don't want to push it either. But my PTSD or my anxiety of going out, it's almost gone. Almost. There's some situation. Okay. As soon as we begin to feel confident in our new way of life and have begun by our behavior and example. Yeah. Example. I got to be a good example. Okay. There are people watching me. There are people watching you. They're watching. Okay. I didn't think they were, but they are. Because every time I think nobody here, this isn't getting through to anybody, God will send me a message from some dude in Europe who rides the tram to work that listens to my shit every day and keeping him sober. I'm serious. It's come to me that way before. So that's why I tend not to worry. Okay. To convince those about us that we are indeed changing for the better is usually safe to talk in complete frankness with those who have been seriously affected, even those who may be only a little or not all aware of what we have done to them. Yeah, and God's watching, you bet. Thank you, Patricia, for reminding us. It's kind of like, I've been dealing with a problem. It's not going right. Well, did you pray? No? Oh, okay, there we go. So yes, God's watching too. Thank you for the reminder. So why does Night Step work so well? I'm going to tell you why. Because at least this is why for me. Because when I was drinking, I would say I was going to do a bunch of stuff and I'd never do it. I was the little boy that cried wolf, man. Why would you believe me? If you did, you were an idiot. If you believed me, okay? My wife certainly didn't believe me. What she did believe in is the fact that I would get sober eventually. She did believe in that, but she did not predict when. Okay. Now, why was this? Because my wife knew me when I got sober the first time. She was my girlfriend at the time. And she saw me go from being on Skid Row to getting sober and pulling myself up Skid Row. She watched it. She didn't just watch it, she was there. So she would tell me things like, I know the sober Dion, so I'm going to wait for him to come back. Okay. These are the things that got me sober. She wasn't that is not mean to say to somebody. In fact, it's very complimentary. And I never got angry with her about that stuff because I knew she was right. I knew she was right. So, what did that teach me? Well, it taught me patience, tolerance, kindliness, and love. And now I pass that on. Okay. And I do this by doing things appropriate. I'm very much for having fun. Okay. We're putting on a comedy show. Okay. But we cannot have fun at the expense of others. That is bullying. Period. Okay. Yeah. Someone weirder than you. There's always someone smarter than you. So, all right. Let's go ahead and wrap that up. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Patricia, looks like we had a couple other people hanging out, which is all fine. You're not required to say anything here. I don't even, unless you actually chat, I won't even say your name. I don't even know that. I don't know who's here. I don't look. Okay. I believe in your anonymity. I believe that you can recover as out loud or as non out loud as you want to, man. It's yours. Okay. Now, just because somebody doesn't recover out loud like me does not mean that they do not know. Actually, it's these passive people tend to do a lot of stuff. Oh, it's Trevor. Hey, dude, here on a Friday? Usually I see you on Sunday. So, but good to see you, dude. Good to see you. Surprise! Surprise! All right. I don't know what it is, but this week everything's funny. Everything's funny. I think I'm riding a pink cloud. I am. See, I've had other pink clouds, so it's not new to me. It's not new to me. Good for me. Yay, I had a pink cloud. And that's a big deal, man. Excitement usually fucks me up. It usually does because my brain's like, okay, potty. And I didn't do it this time. So, yay, that's progress. Woo. I love you all. Thanks for helping me come to some realization. I love you all. Peace out.